Good morning all. I welcome you all to the new class 11th standard. So, I am your biology teacher. So, in this first class just I am going to give you an introduction about the biology and the scope of our biology and what are all the units you are going to see in the whole complete year. Okay. So, now we know that from our lower classes we studied biology, right. Bio means living, logy means study. The study of living organism is said to be biology. Okay. So, why we are studying the biology? So, what are the applications we are having, right. So, from the ancient time itself biology was there. So, but still the advancement in the techniques, advancements in the science made us to study the new techniques in our biology, right. So, here in this biology not only for doctor people. So, biology means they all will say you are going for a doctor or MBBS or BDS. Okay. So, apart from this medical courses we are also having so many paramedical courses, right. So, but the thing is you aim high, okay, then only you can able to get some level of grade in your life. Okay. So, if you are aiming for NEET, no problem, it is well and good. If you crack it, it is well and good. If you didn't do that properly, means do not worry, we are having so many paramedical courses as I said. So, pharmacy is there, we are having homeopathy, Siddha and some other paramedical courses which are equivalent to MBBS. Okay. So, we are having microbiology, biochemistry, biotechnology, bioinformatics. So, these are all the subjects which combine your physics, chemistry, maths as well as even geology also there. Okay. So, you can select, so vast varieties of groups are available. So, you can select any one in your future. Okay. So, I can give you some examples of the scientists who studied in even the basic zoology and botany and they become a higher persons. For example, you can take M.S. Swaminathan. Okay. So, he is from a low class family in Kumbakonam. So, he studied zoology and he completed agriculture. Okay. So, agriculture is one of the vast field. Nowadays, people are turning towards the organic food materials. Okay. So, because of the diseases arising in our country, so people are turning towards organic materials. So, even with the help of 1 hectare land, we can able to grow our own food materials. Okay. So, our M.S. Swaminathan, he did a research in the field of paddy and rice and he is said to be the father of green revolution. Okay. So, he applied genetics into that. You might have studied in your lower classes, right, genetics. So, he applied the genetics, genetic engineering and he did so many varieties of paddy field. Okay. And the flood, how the plants can able to overcome stress, flood and all. Okay. So, he is said to be the father of green revolution and our own Kovilpatti we are having the agricultural research institute, right. So, here one of the famous scientists we are saying it is Ayya Nammalvar. Okay. So, one of the most favorite scientist in the biology field is our Nammalvar sir. Okay. So, he did so many researches. Okay. And finally, he concluded that nothing, genetic engineering will not work out, only the nature itself is giving us so many things. So, he said that waste is not a waste. Okay. So, from the waste materials he grown own biofertilizers. Okay. So, he did so many researches in cotton, millet varieties and he gave us so many publications also. Okay. So, if time permits, just go through the books which was available, which was written by our Nammalvar sir. Okay. So, likewise so many scientists are there in the field of pharmaceutical also. So, if you are studying biology means you can go for higher studies in pharmaceutical, you can able to prepare your medicines. Okay. Even who knows, somebody in our class also can able to prepare medicine for our COVID-19, right. So, you can do research. Okay. So, you know Kiran Mazumdar, she is one of the scientists. Okay, she studied brewing experiments. Brewing means we know that fermentation experiments and she started her own company Biocon in the Bangalore and now she with the help of 10,000 rupees only she started and now she is being the owner of the whole group of company and turning millions of crores per year. Okay. So, you can also be an entrepreneurship, like you can grow your mushroom cultivation. Okay. So, honey bee culture, that is the sericulture, you know that. Okay. So, you can grow your own business by studying the biology. Okay. Not only MBBS but also you can do excel in some other fields also. So, in this 11th and 12th standard, these 2 years are the turning point for your future. Okay. So, mark is just an entry point. Okay. But mark is also needed, but you have to know the fundamentals. Only by knowing the fundamentals you can able to crack the NEET examination. So what to do for knowing the fundamentals? If you are taking a one chapter means completely read the chapter once or twice. If you are having any doubt, you can ask us at any time. Okay. So here in this 11th standard you are having 70 marks for your written examination and 30 marks for your practical examinations. Okay. So in this written examination we are having 5 units, approximately 3 to 6 chapters will be present in the 5 units. Coming to the 11th we are having 22 chapters, and if you are going for 12th you will be having 16 chapters. So if you study this 38 chapters means overall biology will be touched somehow. Okay. So basic knowledge you have to go through your 9th 10th books also. Okay. So here coming to this 11th biology, this is a basic botany and zoology. Okay. So after completing your 12th standard you can go for basic sciences also, botany and zoology, and later classes in your MSc you can choose some specialization like microbiology or biotechnology. You can do research in that field also. So not only in overseas, in India also we are having so many opportunities, so many government organizations like DBT, that is Department of Biotechnology, DST, that is Department of Science and Technology, CSIR. So we are having so many central government institutions. Even in our Thoothukudi we are having research institute in fisheries. Okay. So you can able to do research in fisheries area. So if you take the Karaikudi we are having Sikri. Okay. So the electrochemical research center is there. If you go for Chidambaram we are having marine biology research center. So likewise many other centers, even in Chennai we are having CLRI, Central Leather Research Institute. So they are hiring only the biology background peoples. Okay. So don't worry if you didn't crack your NEET examinations, you can also having some other possibilities are there. So the students who are concentrating for NEET examinations, to try to surf in Google, so many websites are available for your questions. In our schools also they are providing very good material by means of Akash institution. So go through the book thoroughly. If you are having any doubt you can just ask us. Okay. So now we are getting into the unit 1. Okay. So here in this 11th standard, as I told, we are having a basic botany and zoology which you have studied in your, mostly you have studied in your 9th and 10th standard. Only the new syllabus here is only biomolecules. Okay. So now getting into the unit 1, here in this unit 1 we are having diversity in the living world. This is just a basic introduction of your biology. So first chapter is the living world. Here we are going to discuss what are living organisms, what are non-living things, and what are all the characters present in the living organisms, and how we are classifying the living organisms. If you are seeing us, we are classifying animals, plants, right, human beings. So on what basis we are going to classify the living organisms? Here we are going to study the new term taxonomy. You might have studied in your lower classes. Okay. So what is taxonomy? How we are going to classify the microorganisms as well as the major living organisms. So living organisms means it includes microorganisms also, right, which cannot be seen by our naked eyes, okay, which can be seen under the microscope. So how this microbiology and all arose means with the help of discovery of our microscope by Anton von Leeuwenhoek, right. So here we are going to study the basic rules, how we have to write the genus name, how we have to write the species name, everything you are going to write, okay. So this will be very helpful for your entrance examination in your after completing your 12th standard, okay. So the next one is biological classification. So based on the taxonomy, how the biological living organisms are classified, okay. We know, we have studied in our lower classes, one scientist name is called Whittaker, okay. So based upon the Whittaker's 5 kingdom classifications, we are classifying Moneria, Protista, fungi, Plantaria, Animalia, okay. So this is the basic thing in your 11th standard. So in this chapter we are going to see only these 3, Moneria, Protista and fungi, and also we are going to study little about our viruses, okay. That is the chapter 2, biological classification. So in chapter 3 you are having a plant kingdom. So, this plant area and animalia we are going to see it in a separate chapter because we are having very vast things. Okay. So, in this plant kingdom we know that plants means what we have studied in our lower classes, bryophyta, pteridophyta, gymnosperm, angiosperms, the same thing it is repeating, but in detail you are going to see. Okay. Bryophytes, pteridophytes, gymnosperms and angiosperms. The next, coming to the animal kingdom, here you are going to see the classification of animal kingdom, that is what is chordates and what is non-chordates. Okay. The next unit, this first unit comprises of 12 marks. So, among these 4 chapters they will ask 12 marks for your examination, and chapter 2 is structural organization in plants and animals. These two we are going to see in detail. Okay. So, first thing is morphology of flowering plants. Completely we are going to see about angiosperms alone. Okay. So, no gymnosperms, only angiosperms. So, morphology means how the external structure, external appearance of the flowering plants. Okay. And then next one is anatomy of flowering plants. Anatomy means internal structure of the flowers. So, in these 2 chapters we are going to see the complete part of the plant from the root to the top. So, that is a root, stem, leaves, inflorescence, buds, flowers, everything you are going to see. Okay. So, why this chapter was there means many recent drug designing. So, in your future if you are going for any drug design like bioinformatics field means you have to know the basic of the plants. Okay. Because the plants, from the plants only nowadays many vaccines are producing. Okay. So, if you are thorough in this 2 chapters means then you can able to do any research activities in plants. Okay. So, the next one is structural organization in animals. So, here we are going to see about how the tissues are built up in animal tissues. Animals means humans will also come under this category only. So, nerve cells function, muscle cells function we are going to see in this structural organization of animals. Okay. So, the next is our basic thing, cell structure and functions. Okay. So, why we are studying this cell means humans, we know that living organisms means living organisms can able to multiply and reproduce. This is the first property of living organisms compared to non-living things. Okay. So, how we are growing, how we are reproducing by the multiplication of cells only. So, we are going to see in this chapter. So, both prokaryotes as well as the eukaryotes. Okay. So, based upon these cells we are going to see the divisions, how the cells are dividing, how the cells are formed. We are going to see the presence of that is the cell organelles. What are all the cell organelles present in the cell. Okay. Like cytoplasm, Golgi bodies, endoplasmic reticulum. So, everything you are going to see in this chapter. The next one is biomolecules. Inside the cell we are having carbohydrates, proteins. So, our body is made up of carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins, right. So, everything we are going to study in biomolecules. Cell cycle and divisions, near lower classes you might have studied very well, right, mitosis, meiosis. Okay. So, everything we are going to see in prokaryotes as well as in eukaryotes. Okay. Eukaryotes having a true nucleus, prokaryotes means absence of nucleus is there. So, here in this cell division we are going to see the cell cycle and what are all the phases of cell cycle, S, M. Okay. All the things you might have studied in your lower classes. So, do not worry, it will be very easy for you to go through the 11th syllabus. Okay. Next is plant physiology. So, here the 4th and 5th chapter are very important because 17 marks from each chapters. Here in plant physiology you are going to study about xylem and phloem in the transport of plants. So, we might have studied xylem tissue as well as the phloem tissues, right. So, plant tissues we are going to see in the transport, how the plant is uptaking the minerals, how the plants are uptaking the water molecules from the soil. Okay. So, here we are going to see about active transport, passive transport, everything. And next one is mineral nutrition. What are all the minerals needed for the plants to grow? Okay. So, like our biofertilizers, so everything we are going to see in this mineral nutrition. Next one is Here in this mineral nutrition also we are going to study about different types of cycles, carbon cycles, nitrogen cycle. Okay. So next is photosynthesis in higher plants. So we know the starch is absorbed by the plants and it is converted into glucose. Okay. So that process, okay, photosynthesis we are going to see in detail, and in photosynthesis and respiration we are going to study about Krebs cycle, glycolysis, CTS cycle, everything you might have studied in your lower classes, but here we are going to study in detail with the help of our structure. Okay. So here you have to study the structural details of our Krebs cycles, right. The next one is plant growth and development. What are all the hormones required for, apart from the minerals and nutrients, some hormones are necessary for the growth of the plants. So why they have kept this chapter for your 11th syllabus means, after studying this chapter some may get interest in the horticulture field. Okay. So horticulture means the growing of the plants. Okay. So horticulture fields, if you are going for horticulture means this chapter will be very useful. So all the chapters if you are studied means it will be very helpful for your future. Okay. The next one is human physiology. So those who are aiming for a NEET examination, you might have go through this human physiology very depth. Okay. So here in this human physiology we are going to see the full anatomy of the humans. Okay. So this is the basic things we are going to see in your 11th standard. Okay. So what is digestion? So what are all the enzymes involved in digestion? What are all the organs involved in digestion? Next one is breathing. Breathing means respiration. So how CO2 is exhaled and oxygen is inhaled. So how the lungs are functioning, how the alveoli, everything we are going to see in the breathing and exchange of gases. Okay. So next one is circulation. We are going to see the function of our heart, how the heart is pumping, what are the functions of arteries, what are the functions of veins, structural detail of the heart. So LS, TS, everything, longitudinal view, transverse view, everything we are going to see in the circulation part. The next one is excretory products and elimination. So here in this excretory products we are going to study about the kidney. Okay. So we are going to see the nephrons, how it is going to function in the elimination of waste materials from our body. Next, locomotion and movement. So basic things of locomotion, movement and neuron control, everything we are going to see about the brain and what are all the chemical coordinations taking place in our brain molecules, how the sensation. So if I am pinching you means you can able to feel, right. So that feeling, how can we go through that, how it will overtaking by our body. Okay. So everything neurons, from neurons to the cells we are going to study in the human physiology. So completely you are having 22 chapters. Okay. So you can easily go through this 22 chapters. So from next class onwards I will give you the crisp notes for this first living world. We can make it easily, we can make it simpler. Okay. And I will give you the notes for this living world. Okay, we will go through the next chapter on next class. Thank you.